Has a white man kept you down?
I didn't think I was going to be doing this. Thought it's just going to come to you. Like you're going to start a business, you're going to do it, and that's it. Somebody asks, how good are you at remodeling the bathroom? And I say, well, I remodeled my wife's and she married me. I never left, so.
When people ask you, what do you do for a living? How do you describe it? What do you say?
Everything. Basically, a whole lot of different things. Depends on what they want. From the hotel business to just general contracting, remodeling homes.
Today we're here with Derrick Tillman. He's going to tell us how he came up from during his life, from childhood to now, how he became an entrepreneur, started his own business, successful independent business owner. I met you when you were doing insurance work because you happen to be the person that did the insurance contract work in my mom's house.
Right. Well, actually, kind of word of mouth type of thing. I have a nephew that was good at doing claims. He was in mitigation in that field. It's independent. You don't have to be with any type of company. Some of those companies work with multiple insurance companies, and they'll hire you to go and do that aspect of, the mitigation. Clean it out, putting the fans in, make sure the mold doesn't grow, you kill the mold. So I met him, but my wife actually started working for the insurance company, and she's been there almost a little over 3 years now. I was like, well, let me stay where I am in the construction part, because now I have a heads up with wife and my nephew, let me know what's pertinent right now, what's jumping, whatever. Kind of like a shoe-in,
Right.
So that's how that became what I wanted to start doing all the time. So remodeling homes, when you come in, the insurance company is going to give you the money, right? So they need contractors. So, hey, so let me, finagle myself in there and see what I can do. And it was like a one-stop shop with me because I'm doing electrical, I'm doing plumbing, I'm doing framing, I'm doing flooring, I'm doing painting. So, whatever they needed, I was there for it. So,
The best networking is starting with your own family.
yes.
You got a cousin, you have a nephew, you have a brother, sister, somebody, your wife, they're into something. There may be a little way for you to slide in for them to throw you something. I mean, that's the way it worked in the old days, right?
Right, exactly.
Give me an idea of where you grew up.
Beaumont, Texas. Yeah, a little small town right outside of Houston. Probably about an hour and a half away from Houston. Little country, little area, nothing too special. But it's a lot of industrial. Port Arthur is right next door, so it's a lot of industrial plants and stuff like that out there. Yeah.
And then when did you start thinking about the future?
Okay, so I left high school in around the 10th grade because it got boring, as you would say. I was making straight A's and B's, and it got boring. I knew the stuff really fast, so I would be sitting there twiddling my thumbs thinking about different things while everybody's finishing homework. So I used to get in trouble for finishing my homework because it's supposed to be at home, it's homework. So I got bored, so I was like, okay, I need something more challenging. So I enrolled myself into Job Corps in Gary. Gary San Marcos, Job Corps. Took a little electrician course, trade, that wasn't as fast as I thought. So I left there and I went to a place called ICS, International Career School. I took computerized accounting. I was a little bit of a nerd with the computers, and that's what I did. And I got my business degree, my first degree in business accounting. So I went from there to HCC and took a business course and got interested in that aspect. Said, okay, I want to own my own business and do my own thing and not answer to anybody.
Any trepidation? Were you afraid, or you just dove right into it?
I actually just dove right into it. It was a little nervousness about succeeding into it, just a little. But I knew I'm smart. I can do this. So how hard can it be?
What were you aiming to do after that?
It was a little broad. So I actually started having people where they would ask me, do I know how to do this in construction? I was like, I'm more of a computer guy. But I started liking building stuff with my hands, you know, electrician type stuff, rebuilding stuff. And I was doing that at a young age also. It was natural. And then I found out my grandfather was a carpenter. He was building stuff. He built his own house back out there where my mom and mom and uncles grew up in Louisiana. So let me jump out there and see how it feels. And I fell in love with carpentry and cutting and, you know, just building stuff. It was kind of like fake it till you make it kind of deal. Yeah, so, but I was pretty good at it and, you know, I just went with it.
How did you expand that business and that outreach?
A crazy chance. Downside of my business, it was, you know, kind of slow season. And I had a couple of friends that were doing moving business. And they asked me, hey man, what are you doing? We need an extra hand to move some furniture. So yeah, I'll come out and try you guys out, you know, have fun and, you know, move some stuff. So it was actually at the Marriott downtown, Houston. And I went there, we just moving furniture. It was a 17-story building, I think it was the Radisson or something. And we just started moving stuff back and forth and they needed help with drilling and, you know, carpenter type stuff. I was like, well, I know how to do that. So they tried me out, grabbed the drill, and it went from there. The guy that was the owner said, hey man, you got a little more skills than just moving around. So I gave him a little short resume, what I can do, and he tried me out. And it went from there, from doing artwork at the Marriott, building frames, hanging mirrors, and it just showed me what they wanted done. And I was fast learning, so I just jumped on it. And 16, 17 years later, you know, here I am. I'm running my own company, doing the same thing that he was doing. I actually went on my own just maybe 6 years ago. So I was going back and forth with him as him being the boss. So I traveled all over the country doing hotels, doing the FF&E part. So we go in and after they finish painting and do all the carpet and the flooring or whatever, we'll come in, we'll install the artwork, we'll install the beds, the desk, the wardrobe, everything you see in the room before housekeeping comes to put the finishing touches on it. We did that.
What is FF&E?
Okay, FF&E, it's furniture, fixings, and equipment, from beds, mirrors, hard fixtures like sinks, shelving, to the placards outside the door, to, you know, tile in the foyer or whatever, in the lobby. So yeah, it's a lot, TVs, yeah, a little bit all of that.
You saw the niche because you were working a niche.
You're right.
And from working a niche, you're like, hey, I can own a little slice of this niche.
Yes, exactly. I felt I was pretty good at it. I already had the computer, you know, the business part of it. So I just combined that all together. So I didn't need this person to do this or that person to do that. That was like a one-man show. So I just needed good help to come and execute what I was trying to do. So
what do you look for in hiring someone, and do you look to try and take them to the next level?
So actually, yes, that's a real good question, because like we say that saying good help is hard to find, it is, you know, and a lot of it is being able to, because it's hard right now for a lot of people. So when you're trying to keep somebody working, that's a challenge. Because if you got good help, somebody else can take them and put them, you know, and employ them. So you have to compete with that. So if you got the other hand where they're not doing anything anyway, they're just sitting around, just chilling and just doing odd jobs here and there, they get a first paycheck and you're not gonna see them anymore. So now you have to find somebody else to do it. And it's challenging when you're halfway across the country. When you're in Florida doing a mall and you're trying to hire someone, you have to stop to go hire somebody else. So you don't know these people, so you have to vet them. So that's what the challenge is, it's finding that good help and keeping them. So that's been the challenge all the way around from day one.
It's like a free agency. You got all these free agents running around and they're in the portal and they go to other teams.
Right,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
And being in different cities and states, different times, it's seasonal work. So you have to Craigslist or, Angie's List or an employment agency in that area. So you have, I got a job, I'm doing a hotel for about 3 weeks. I need somebody that's experienced in this and that. So that's, like I say, that's been the challenge. So, you have to pay more. If you don't pay them enough, then of course you're not going to see them. So you pay them too much, and then they're going to retire on you. You got to find somebody else anyway. So yeah, that's been the challenge.
And are you finding more young people, more sort of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 20s, 30s?
I would say 20s, 30s. They're going to come, and what I see sometimes in those younger guys, I see myself. And what are you doing right now? So I don't want them to be just stagnant in that field, and they're not trying to build themselves up to something else. If they don't see the potential where they could be with what I'm doing, then they tend to get a little bored and they want to go do something else. And I try to encourage that. If that's not what they, hey, go take a course and do this and do that, So those are the younger guys. The older guys around my age, they're trying to get some money, a little quick money, and under the table, So they're not going to stay around that long either, and I can't afford that because I have taxes to take care of. Well, they have different expectations of the business. So I didn't think I was going to be doing this. I did not think I was going to be juggling, trying to find. I thought it's just going to come to you. Like you're going to start a business, you're going to do it, and that's it. Everything is going to come natural because you're smart enough to do it. Not the case. Not the case. So,
what's been your strategy?
I guess bouncing from different things because I have different skill sets. So I kind of bouncing what I would call like seasonal projects. It's summertime, so people are going to be trying to get fences done, stuff like that. So I jump into that for a while, and then the industry comes back for the hotel business, and I just jump back in. So I've been playing double dutch, back and forth. So I don't have a strategy besides that. It's just, get it how you can. So.
Has anyone brought their kid and said, hey, my son needs a little this?
Quite a few times, actually. And they would say, I like your work ethic. I like how you roll. This guy needs some help, so let him hang around you. You have some work for him, and again, it's like that's why it's mostly younger guys because of that situation where they're gonna come. They're not gonna be there that long. They're just trying to appease the parent or whoever it is putting them in there. Yeah. So you work them, you show them some skills, and sometimes they take to it and like it. Mm-hmm. And you can see them want to advance into some fields like that. Or you see the other ones like, it's not for me. I'd rather be playing Xbox, So, I do what I can with what I have, and, I still try to show them and teach them what I know, But more than what I know, to teach them how to feel what they want to do. Because, like you say, you want to enjoy what you're doing. Yeah. It makes it easier. So it's not a job, it's just fun.
And sometimes it's a revelation. I know that when we moved to Houston, mm-hmm. and I would live with my parents in between going to college and that sort of thing, and it was one time my neighbor, black man as well, was a college graduate and he was an engineer. Mm. This must have been mid-'80s when everything started going south. Right. So, he lost his engineering job and he was trying to figure out next steps, and he jumped into something similar. If houses were foreclosed on, the banks would take them over, and they needed someone to come in and clean them out.
Yeah.
He took off the engineering clothes, he got to work. He's like, hey, I can do that. He bid for those contracts, he went in. I was looking for work in the summer. I'm like, okay. I teamed up with him, he got started early in the morning. And I'm telling you, I don't know if I just happened to pick the day where it was the hardest.
Oh, wow.
I went in there, I took one look around, and like the walls were splattered with feces.
Oh,
and,
no.
Like somebody got in there and just really made it a tough gig.
Yes.
And we got in there, and he had a clock, man. He was like, we got to be in and out in 2 hours.
Wow.
And we just scrubbed, did that whole thing. I worked with him for maybe 2 days.
That was it.
This isn't my thing. I'm going into entertainment. I admired the fact that this man was like, nothing's keeping me down. He made money for himself. He kept the ball rolling until he moved to his next thing.
Right.
And you're finding majority of your jobs now are coming pretty much inside. You're not advertising. You don't have a big social media account.
No, actually no. And there are people say, man, you ought to advertise. You know, so I have my iPad and I'll flip through a few pictures, or it's like somebody go, Derrick, I saw the floors that you did for yada, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I need you to come look at mine. You know, so it's kind of like that type of thing, you know, and it just keeps going on and on. I saw these floors, can you do mine like this? Or I saw this paint job you did, you know, so yeah, it's word of mouth. I don't advertise on social media or any of that. I think I would be too busy because, again, good help is hard to find, so, you know, I need a crew that can do the same thing, so that's what makes it challenging, you know, so I can't take on a whole bunch of projects at one time because it's only me.
How do you feel looking back?
Looking back, I don't think I'd change anything. I jumped out, and that's what gave me the confidence that, you know, I jumped out and I was doing well. So, you know, I can do it again. You know, I can keep on going and keep on doing it. So,
how do you feel about
I
self-confidence?
think it's a little bit of both, actually. It's your upbringing, the people that's around you that you see succeed and put the hard work in. It'll just jump out there and say, hey, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And you watch them do it. So it builds your confidence level yourself, and then you're ready to jump out there. You're quicker to jump out. And once you do, if you're successful, you just keep on going, you know. But however, if you see someone try and fail, but get up and try again, you have to have that instilled in you to say, I don't want to give up. I don't want to fail like they did, even though they got back up. So, you know, I think I was that person that if I saw someone jump on something and fail and get back up, I'm not going to be afraid of falling. I'm just going to jump back up because I know it's possible. You still have to have something in you, that drive, that that makes you want to succeed.
Do you feel like you would have the same success without being married?
Because I met my wife while I was contracting and remodeling her bathroom.
Well, you got to back up and tell us that story.
Okay. So I got a phone call through word of mouth through a friend to remodel her bathroom. She had a friend that wanted her bathroom remodeled. So she called me over. She wasn't exactly ready for it to happen. So she passed me on to somebody who was ready, her sister. So I went over, gave her a bid, started working, enjoyed her bathroom, you know, it's so much that I never left. And we got married a year later in Hawaii. So, so I always make a joke about that and say, if somebody asks, how good are you at remodeling the bathroom? And I say, well, I remodeled my wife's and she married me, I never left, so. Yeah, so.
I say you're good.
We joke about that, and my wife travels a lot. And me traveling, I don't travel as much as her. She stays gone for a while. So it's an understanding and a respect for our careers, our jobs, that we stay open-minded about the times that we spend away from each other. So she understands. So it's easier for us to get along while she's out on the road or I'm out on the road. I'm visiting her as much as I can, she's visiting me as much as she can, and it just works. So the importance of that, it keeps me driving knowing that I have somebody understanding at home, and she's out there getting it, I'm out there trying to get it, and you know, it just works. So yeah, it's very important to have that. I don't think, being single, I don't think I'd have that drive. She drives me, she really does. And I don't think I would keep having that drive that it's intensified by being married with her, you know.
Yeah.
So.
You have how many children?
One.
You have one?
I have one 10-year-old.
Okay, 10's pretty young, so they're probably not doing all the internet stuff and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And,
But he
and how
likes
are
to
you
work.
dealing with that? Are you passing on your skills?
Yeah, that's a challenge right there, because there's so much crazy stuff on the internet and fun stuff to them. But he also sees me working, and he likes to go out and play, grab a saw, grab a drill, and he's been doing that for a long time. And so when the internet he gets to the part where he wants to play these games, it gets challenging. Hey, come on, we were climbing trees and playing in the dirt back in the day. We didn't have all of that. We played the game every now and then, so it's a challenge sometimes when he gets and does a deep dive into the internet and those games and stuff like that. So I have to pull him away, and so I have to make sure I'm present enough to get him off of and reset. Hey, son, let's go outside and build something. It's a challenge, but it's fun.
May give them some skills for the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he needs to be versatile and to jump back and forth like his dad. So, yeah. So I don't go all the way deep on one side or or the other. So I try to keep a healthy balance for him.
Are you looking at flipping houses?
Yes, definitely. That's I think right now it's becoming a passion that I'm driving toward, and meeting people, getting different ideas, podcasts, and just looking into people that's doing it and the failures or the successes. So the pros and cons of the business before I just jump in there, so I can set myself up for success.
You gotta spread a little bit of that work love around a little bit. Hey,
Yeah,
you
I'm
grab
trying.
this, you do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. Has a white man kept you down?
If there's things in place that'll help you keep yourself down. I believe that if you get out there and you search and you look, there's tools to get around what they're trying to keep you down from. You just have to develop the skill and learn how to manipulate your field. But yeah, it has been some challenges because of the way people look, your skin tone, and actually, everybody always says the Hispanics, I'm gonna get them to do it because the prices are so cheap sometimes, and it's like, okay, you get what you pay for. And we have this thing where they say, well, you're too high. I say, well, I'm too high for you, too expensive, but you get what you pay for. So I try to offer good quality work. So down the line, you say, well, you know what, I did pay a little more than I was going to pay them, but it was worth it, and pass that on. So I wouldn't say those barriers came up that much, for me. It's just jump in and go,
You don't really notice. It may have happened, but
Right.
you're so busy, trying to provide, making it work.
Yes.
That you found a natural path around.
Yeah, I
whatever
mean, I
the
got
barrier
lucky a
would've
few
been.
times, where somebody saw my skill and looked past that, that skin or whatever they're looking at,
How did you know that was happening in the moment? Go into that one a little bit.
Okay, so we'll talk about the hotel business, okay? So some of the guys that I was working with that asked me to come help them with the moving, when I got started with that, he's a white guy. So, he's come to me and he's been there before me. So I'm running these different jobs on my own. So now they're working for me. So I'm hiring them to come do hotels for me. A couple of times where I wasn't the face of that particular job. They made him the face because of, the skin tone. So it was, he was like, hey, you're way more talented and experienced for this job. Why am I the head on this job? I was like, you know why. So when we got there, you can see, so I know it was a couple of times, a few times that it happened, but they saw my skill, they saw my work. And
You still profited.
I still, right, so it was about the work. So they don't care who's doing the work now, they just want, they want good quality results.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to be a little clever in the way you present it.
Exactly, and I think that was the bosses at that time. That was their cleverness. Oh, we're going to send him as the boss. He's just a worker. So, but it worked out after that. They knew who I was and what I could do. So.
Yeah. So I mean, having that work ethic, that attitude, that just trumps everything. Yeah. People want that quality for the right money.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So you feel that capitalism has been the key for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Just being able to make that.
Yes, definitely.
You're glad you made it out of Beaumont, being able to do more here?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Beaumont is a little slower. Well, you know, Houston is everything, everybody everywhere. So, yeah, you definitely have more opportunities, you know.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wrap this up the way I like to wrap up a lot, and that is advice. Give advice to anyone that's looking at either making a pivot in career, starting off in a career, you know, and it's not a normal career where someone's hired them. They may have to go out and pivot from the job they're in. What main things do you see?
Hard work and staying focused. Whatever you see, what you think may be an obstacle, you make it your I don't want to say that, but you make it your business to overcome that, and not so much call it an obstacle. It's just a grinding stone, where you just move past it. I tried to go around a lot of things and found out that hitting it head on and going through it was more effective.
Thank you so much. We wish you continued success. We'll talk about your business for those that want to know more about it. Derrick, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you taking the time and sharing your knowledge and your gifts with all of us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
All right.